It's great to be with you today, and it's especially good to see the faces of our children and families with us on this MLK Sunday.
This morning, we are going to talk about Black Lives Matter and what has been happening in our community and in our country this past year.
Last May, a man named George Floyd was killed while he was being arrested by police officers. George was a 46-year-old Black man who lived in Minneapolis, Minnesota. George was 6.5 feet tall, and his friends called him Big George. They said that he was a gentle giant who touched hearts and who liked to give hugs, and that he was a kind and generous friend to many people in his neighborhood. On May 25th, George was stopped and arrested by white police officers because they thought that George had used fake money in a store. George was made to lie face down on the ground with his hands handcuffed behind his back. Then a police officer knelt down and put his knee on George's neck. George told the police that he could not breathe, but the police officer didn't stop. People who were standing nearby tried to get the police officer to stop, but he wouldn't stop, and even worse, other police officers prevented people from helping George. George Floyd died.
One of the people who had tried to help George filmed what happened on their cell phone camera. This video was put on Facebook and on Instagram, and millions of people around America and the world saw the video. They felt sad and angry that this had happened to George. Their hearts were broken open in a way they hadn't been before. They wondered how this could happen. The truth is that in our country, Black people have always been treated unfairly by the police. We should be able to count on the police to be helpful and kind, but many Black people feel scared when police are around. They are more likely to be accused of things they didn't do, and more likely to be hurt or killed by the police.
After George died, people began to organize marches and protests in cities all over America, saying that Black lives matter and that Black people should not be hurt or killed by police. We've had marches here in Fort Collins and in our Colorado state capitol in Denver. Young Black leaders in our city have organized the marches, and they've asked white people to come together with Black and brown people to tell our leaders that it is not okay for Black people to be hurt or killed by police.
Some of you may have been to a march or protest where people showed up with signs demanding that police should stop hurting Black people. You may have seen pictures of other protests where things were being broken or protesters were being hurt by police. People have so many big feelings about the way Black people have been treated. There is sadness, fear, and anger. There is so much work to do to make things fairer and safer for Black people in Fort Collins and in our country.
Every Sunday in our Unitarian Universalist Church, we speak the words of our church covenant together. We say that we promise to speak the truth in love. Sometimes the truth is really complicated. Sometimes the truth is hard and scary, but we speak the truth anyway, because the truth sets us free. The truth is that Black and brown and Indigenous people in our community and in our country are not treated fairly.
Our Unitarian Universalist faith says that we must help one another. We must keep asking Black leaders how we can help, and we must keep working to change unfair laws and systems, because we believe that every person is worthy of love, that every person should be safe from harm, and that Black lives matter.